The Dark Age of Supernatural. I might call it that, but there are a lot of elements and episodes in it that I do still very much enjoy. That's why today we're going to be going through the list of the top 10 best episodes from the Jeremy Carver era, also known as the Dark Age of Supernatural. It probably already says a lot about the lower end of the show's seasons when one of the best episodes is when Dean turns into a dog.
It's a great episode though, thankfully, and there's an inherent absurdity to it that really shows it can only be done in a show in its 9th season. Supernatural isn't really a stranger to bonkers and batshit episode ideas. I mean, I talked about the French mistake and changing channels already, but turning one of the leads of the show into a dog is another level. It helps that the episode is nestled in between a group of duller episodes too, so it just really stands out. I think the overall plot isn't super entertaining or anything to write home about, but in a show and an era as middling and boring as this, sometimes all you have to be is funny.
You know, it's funny to have this come right after Dog Dean Afternoon in my list because this is probably the next best season 9 episode right after it.
I was actually surprised to find myself placing this as high as I was, but it's a very entertaining episode. I'm a huge sucker for Men of Letters focused episodes, and this one does a great job focusing on an expelled member of the Men of Letters that possesses the First Blade. Honestly, the Mark of Cain and First Blade plots are some of the only parts of season 9 that can keep my interest, so it makes sense that this would be one of the higher episodes. The main plot is exciting, I love Cuthbert Sinclair's cool ass house, and the actor did a great job bringing this character to life. Honorable mentions will go to season 9 episode 17, Mother's Little Helper though, which features some really cool Men of Letters flashbacks. It also sets up an interesting plot point that season 9 never really follows up on. And I also like season 10's The Werther Project, another episode with Cuthbert Sinclair in it. They didn't quite make the list, but I wanted to give some Men of Letters love, and I wanted to point out a couple episodes that don't make the list, and I'll do this a bit later on as well. So yeah, a really fun episode that puts Dean in a precarious place and locks him in just a house with an old Men of Letters member, and I think it's really cool.
Believe it or not, season 8's main plot is actually one of my favorites of the entire show. I actually really like the Trials plotline, and so any episode that focuses on it is pretty great, especially Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver gets a lot of flack for not making much sense as far as continuity goes. It takes what we know of Hell from prior seasons and mostly throws it out the door to create a big romp that sort of trivializes past seasons. For instance, it's a little silly how easily you can just grab somebody from Hell. It makes any stint there seem dumber in retrospect, and not to mention Crowley established that Hell was a long waiting line, but now it's some random dungeon. On top of that, Crowley was torturing alpha monsters in season 6 for the secret location of Purgatory, and now Reapers can just teleport in with no trouble. Also, with the revelation that Reapers are angels, you sort of realize that Castiel or Raphael could have just entered Purgatory, and yeah, it's silly, but it's also really cool. I don't know, man. The idea of one of the trials being rescuing a soul from hell is so damn cool to me, and it was such a great way to bring Bobby back for a single episode. It's not an amazing one or anything, and there's better written episodes, but this one was just really fun to watch, and it actually feels like a trial and one of the big world-ending projects that Sam and Dean would go through.
Okay, fair warning. From here on out, most episodes that I talk about are going to be from season 11.
Season 11 is one of the show's best entries, and Safe House showcases such a unique Monster of the Week episode so late into the show's run. The focus on this new Soul Eater monster is very fun, and I really enjoy the way it pivots and transitions into this otherworldly feeling episode. I really love the Bobby and Rufus flashbacks. They're funny, entertaining, and they were a great way to bring back the character for an episode. The episode also just works as a nice lull in an overly dramatic season. While this episode is definitely dramatic, it just harkens back to the old days of Supernatural where you could get a really fantastic episode even when it's just a one-off. I love the ending where Bobby and Dean see each other while they're both inside the Soul Eater's nest. It's such a cool moment with that area existing outside of time. I love it. Honestly, shout out to the entire stretch of episodes 16 through 18 in season 11. I wanted to fit both Red Meat and Hell's Angel on here, but it was hard because there's a lot of standout episodes to get to, so both of those are easily highlights of the season and the show too.
This one's such a treat, man.
You knew it was going to show up, come on. Maybe it's a little low, and that's because I think the actual plot of the episode isn't anything special. The Monster of the Week was just fine and doesn't do much to elevate it. The joy of this one, though, for me, is the nostalgia and care for the show's early seasons that's portrayed so earnestly through the play that's being put on, based on the Supernatural books by Carver Edlund. The musical aspect is a really fun way to take things. I really love the songs they wrote for it. I don't listen to them much on their own because they're kind of cheesy, but they're great as far as the episode goes, and I make sure to listen to them every time the episode plays. It's a really fun, emotional, and powerful 200th episode that I think deserves all the love it gets from people. It's probably the best celebration of the show. The 100th was a great episode, but it didn't do much to celebrate, and the 300th episode, well, man, I'll get to the 300th episode one day. Fan fiction loves itself, and it loves the show, and it makes you love it even more. Just a fantastic episode.
Look, there comes a time when every show that's had a bad rut of seasons where you just have to go, the show's back!
Season 11's opening hour is already a really well-paced and written introduction to the show's best storyline since Season 5, but Episode 2 takes it and runs even further with it. It places Sam alone in a hospital with a bunch of darkness zombies all around him, and I think that was such a fantastic idea. We get to see inside Sam, something we haven't had the chance to do in a long time, and it's a really great spotlight being shown. I love seeing his character in such a vulnerable state like this. It shows him in its most heroic until it crashes down to him being so desperate that all he can think to do is pray. The scene with him in the hospital's chapel is fantastic, and immediately being shown a vision from the cage is even better. It's even cooler because we know his prayers are being intercepted and twisted by Lucifer from the cage. This is another one of those episodes that reminds you season 11 was intended to be a final season of the show. There's just stakes, tension, and moments that make you feel the feelings you feel when a show is wrapping up. It's not the only episode though of season 11 to reach those moments either, because we're about to talk about a few more, like this next one.
Alright, so I'm gonna cheat here right now. Hope that's okay. Of course it's okay, it's my channel. This next spot, 2 episodes, not just one.
The mid-season finale and the mid-season premiere of season 11. These 2 episodes are utterly fantastic and shoot this season to new heights. Part 1, titled Oh Brother Where Art Thou, places Sam in the cage with Lucifer, the first time these two have seen each other since Sam was ripped from the cage. I think it's a very tense reunion, but it's a very fun one that you can't look away from. Pellegrino's return was so welcome, and it highlights the stakes and scale of season 11 at this point, all the while Dean's topside talking with the darkness. The episode highlights so much of her character. You understand her hatred, her desire to destroy everything, and take a shot at God himself. It's such a great example of her character, and the dynamic between her and Dean is so good. The climax of the episode is also really great, with all of Heaven's Might attempting and failing to smoke the darkness, while Lucifer locks Sam with him in the cage in one of the most terrifying moments in the entire show, just seeing Sam Winchester break down at the realization that he's back in the cage with Lucifer. On top of that, the reveal where everything was all a plan from Lucifer to get Sam right to that moment again. It's heartbreaking and depressing, but damn, it makes for good drama.
Meanwhile, the devil in the details is all Fallout, and some of the best Fallout that we could have gotten from that episode.
Lucifer takes Sam on a trip down memory lane to revisit his highest highs and his lowest lows, and it's such a great clip show of an episode. It's funny because it almost just highlights how far Sam as a character had fallen up until this point. It shows the bad writing in season 8 with the Amelia plotline. Lucifer even points out that Sam couldn't even do what he did in season 5's finale again if he wanted to. And sure, Lucifer's trying to beat Sam into submission, but is he really lying? Sam Winchester in season 11 is a far cry from the man who single-handedly ended the apocalypse. The resolution here in this episode is so good as well. Seeing Sam able to retake his agency and tell Lucifer to fuck off was extremely emotional, especially as a Sam fan. And the way it ends with Lucifer's escape anyways was really cool, man. This is just a fantastic 2-parter, and I had to talk about both episodes. I don't even care that they take up a single spot on this list.
Taking a step back from well-written character moments and climactic set pieces, I bring you Baby.
An episode with well-written character drama and climactic set pieces. It's also an episode set entirely inside Sam and Dean's 1967 Chevy Impala. This is one that snuck up on me on my rewatch before the retrospectives came out. I always knew I really enjoyed it, but I was blindsided by just how good it is. It's a genius idea, it's well executed, and not only is it extremely fun to see an episode told this way and shot this well, but it does something the show hadn't done up until that point, and it gave us really good character moments with the characters just being themselves. Between Sam hooking up with someone in the Impala, or the two of them jamming out together to Sam's dream of his father alone in the car. It's such a heartfelt, poignant, and wonderful episode. The Impala is just as much a character in the show as Sam and Dean, and it made sense to give it an episode of its own. The monsters of the episode being scared of the darkness is also really cool, and it ties the episode into the show's main storyline, setting a very strong tone for the season going forward. The storytelling is just so well done, and the character moments are a total highlight. It'd be a crime not to include this one on here. This is one of my absolute favorites of the entire show.
So, believe it or not, there are episodes from this list that aren't going to be season 11 now, and this is season 8's finale, Sacrifice.
Sacrifice is a brilliant finale. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I really do like the trials storyline, and I love that it's Sam who's doing them. He feels the need to repent for the apocalypse, and it's really well done seeing the toll it takes on him. It all culminates in the season 8 finale, which has always been one of my favorites of the entire show. The final trial is to cure a demon, and once it's done, Sam will die. It's such an easy direction to go in, but it's one that absolutely works. Seeing Sam at the end of the road giving his all to shut the doors of hell for all humanity, for their father, for their mother. It's compounded upon by Crowley confessing that he just yearns to be loved. He doesn't want to be who he is anymore. The setting of the decaying church is beautiful, the music's great, the scene where Dean reveals to Sam that he'll die if he goes through with the trials breaks my heart every time. Sam releases just a pained "so what" to the knowledge of his death, and he's willing to go through with it just to save everybody. It's the embodiment of what makes me love this character. Nothing else matters except helping people. It's almost enough for me to forget that they just dropped the main plot of the season in the last 10 minutes of the episode, man. It's okay though, because the consequences are further compounded by the angels falling from heaven. What a breathtaking moment though. It's easily one of the best visuals the show ever concocted. It's just a shame that season 9 never once came close to this episode, because it sets up such a fantastic season.
You know, for the bulk of writing the script, I had basically decided Sacrifice was going to be my #1 spot. That wasn't until I got here.
Don't Call Me Shirley is one of the most important episodes of the entire show. It caps off the mystery of Chuck being God in such a tremendous way. The scenes with Chuck and Metatron in the bar that take up the bulk of the episode are some of the best written scenes in the entire series. Metatron's pleas to God to protect humanity is so well done, and I've never been a huge fan of Metatron, but his character in this episode really resolves most of my issues with him, culminating his arc into something really, really well done. Reading Chuck's autobiography was so good. I love seeing Chuck's point of view, understanding why he does the things he did. It's such a fantastic way to lead to the big confrontation between him and the darkness. And it's even better in the final moments of the episode. The darkness is attacking another town. Sam and Dean are trying to save everyone, but they're running out of time. And at the last second, the fog clears and the amulet Sam gave to Dean is glowing. So they walk out and meet Chuck saying that they should probably talk. This all happening at the same time as a beautiful rendition of Fare Thee Well plays. It's just beautiful.
Sometimes supernatural is about something.
This time it's about hope. It's about doing what's right, seeing the best in those around you even if it's hard. It's about choosing the betterment of people and finding it in yourself to be strong. It was Robbie Thompson's final episode of the show as a writer. It's probably one of the best swan songs that you could have. Tremendous hour of television, and one that reminds you why I adore this show as much as I do.
That's all for my list of the top 10 episodes of the Dark Age of Supernatural. Have your own list? Comment down below and join me when I cover the top 10 best episodes of Supernatural's Renaissance era.